Hi everyone, my name is Megan and I'm here today to talk to you about how I intend to build a classroom community throughout the school year. Building a classroom environment is one of the most important things a teacher does. The classroom environment can affect not only student progress, but also students' behavior, emotional intelligence, and their motivation to learn. I have a quote for you. It says, "That is what you are doing in the first month of school, creating an emotionally secure home base for children to learn in. So don't worry if you are not teaching many specific academic skills in your first month." Church 2019. I think it is important to note that creating a classroom environment starts on the first day of school, but continues throughout the whole year and is not going to happen in just one day. So now let's dive in and look at the many aspects that make up the classroom environment. The intellectual environment in a classroom is obviously very important. To me, intellectual environment encompasses making the students feel safe and secure in their knowledge while allowing for mistakes and sometimes failure. The first step to this is making students feel confident in their knowledge. Having familiar games and books around the room, even if they are not challenging to students, can help students feel more certain of their knowledge. I always remember having Junie B. Jones books around, and Boggle was a very popular game I used to play, so those things made me feel comfortable in school. The next thing is to establish a routine which will make students more comfortable, allowing them to then extend their thinking past what they have to do next. For me, a routine to set is what students do when they enter the classroom. Having the lights off or low, calm music playing, and explicit instructions written on the board is a routine I hope to set in my classroom. So this will be when students come in from recess, lunch, when they come in for the beginning of the day. I would like to set the routine for them. Another important aspect for creating an intellectual environment would be to allow for mistakes and failure to happen. Setting the standard at the beginning of the year and using phrases such as "mistakes happen, let's learn from them," and "failure gives opportunity for growth" are things I hope to make common language in my classroom. Allowing students to make mistakes and fail then gives them the chance to challenge themselves. Self-challenge is often something overlooked in my opinion, and it shouldn't be. Allowing students to feel safe and comfortable enough to challenge themselves is when the most learning happens. The next aspect I'm going to look at is the social environment. Along with feeling intellectually comfortable is feeling socially comfortable. If students feel they have a support system in the classroom, they will be more willing to challenge themselves. On the first day, an easy way to get to know your students' names and your students to get to know each other is to play just a simple name game. This can be silly or more serious, but the point is to get on a first name basis with everyone in the classroom. There are many studies showing that calling students by their names can be really impactful for them. Calling students by their names can build confidence and a community among the peers. Another way to create a positive social climate in a classroom is to set a common goal. This can be anything from a content goal to a project goal to as simple as beating another class in soccer. But having a common goal allows for students to come together and work towards something as a group. Speaking of groups, when grouping students, be thoughtful about who you put together. Putting students in groups with a variety of people will expose them to new points of view as well as opinions and get them to interact with everyone in the class. Having a positive social environment can also help with creating a positive emotional environment. On the first day of school, I intend on already having photos of students and their families up around the room in order to make them feel welcome and at home. In the first couple weeks, I hope to create family books that students can share with their peers. This gives students the opportunity to learn about each other and helps them share personal feelings with peers. Giving students ample opportunity to share about their personal life can help students feel valid and loved. When students are speaking, we should actively listen, make eye contact, acknowledge their feelings, and summarize what they said. By giving students our undivided attention, we are showing them that we care about them not only as a student, but also as a person. This is also a great way to model for students. This is also a great way to model for students what a positive emotional relationship looks like. I think creating a safe and comfortable social and emotional environment goes hand in hand and should be thought about throughout the year, not just on the first day, which it usually is only thought about on the first day. Creating a physical space where students feel safe and secure can be critical for student success. The lighting in the classroom should be warm and dimmed when available. Strong lighting can distract students and hurt their eyes. There should be flexible seating options for students, and tables should be grouped, especially in younger grade levels when attention spans can be shorter and social interaction is really important for them. I enjoy there to be a lot of open space, which allows for movement and demonstration. I hope to have a very active classroom where students aren't just sitting and doing worksheets, but actually getting up and moving around. So having a big open space is critical for that. I also think having a reading corner is important in all grades, but especially in early elementary. Again, the reading corner should be partially separate from the classroom and have comfortable seating. Allowing students to have that safe, comfortable environment to read will then transition later into life into them enjoying reading and seeing it as a positive rather than a negative, which it sometimes can be. Student supplies should be easily accessible and labeled. I will try and keep extra supplies, papers, and resources out in the open to a minimum as to diminish distraction. Students should be able to get a pencil in the middle of a lesson without interrupting the whole lesson, as well as should not be distracted by the huge stack of papers on my desk that I'm waiting to grade. I think classroom decor should all be purposeful and aid to student learning rather than distract from it. Sometimes if there's too many posters on the wall, students will be more focused on that than the actual learning. Overall, the physical classroom space should be neat, organized, purposeful, and inviting. Everything should have a purpose, and students should know that purpose rather than just having a bulletin board up that has no meaning and they never look at after the first day of school, but should be something interactive that they'll use throughout the year. And to just kind of sum it up, as we can see, creating classroom environment goes far beyond the first day and includes everything from the language used to the posters on the wall. As teachers, we are the ones setting up this environment and need to make every decision with an intention in mind. Students should feel safe to make mistakes, secure in their relationships with peers as well as with you, comfortable in sharing their feelings, and focused rather than distracted by the physical space. All of this put together not only creates a community environment, but a culture within a classroom. And as to quote Wessling, I like to think that community is our sense of belonging, and culture ensures the value of what we belong to. Wessling, 2015. Overall, I want to create a space where students feel safe and secure in their learning and are able to really flourish and succeed and challenge themselves academically.